Alright, usually when you're asked to write the equation of a line, they always want your answer in slope-intercept form, just because, writing the equation is not just the only thing you're going to be doing. You're going to eventually be graphing them, you'll be doing all kinds of things with them. So I want us to see how, even though they tell us to, write it in slope-intercept form or whatever, how we're supposed to start this out. Anytime you see these keywords here, write the equation of the line. Anytime you see that, then automatically I want you to think of that y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 formula. That is our point slope formula. This is the one that we use for writing equations of lines. Now, in order to write the equation, we need to have a point, which we have two of them. Choose either one. And we need the slope. They didn't give us the slope, but we can find the slope. We can find the slope as long as, let's label our points as x1, y1, and x2, y2. Now remember your formula for your slope. You're going to be using this all the time. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And now let's plug in what we have. y2 we said was 7. Minus y1 is 2 over x2 is 4 minus x1 is 3. And now we simplify. 7 minus 2 is 5, whoops, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So the slope is 5 over 1, which is 5. Now we can use that slope along with our x1, y1 to create our equation of our line. So I'm going to have y minus y1 is 2 equals the slope, which we found to be 5, times x minus the x1 we said was 3. This would actually be point slope form of a line. So if they told us to write it in point slope form, we'd be done. But they didn't. They said write it in slope-intercept form. So what we're going to do is we're going to clean this up a bit. So now we have y minus 2 equals, we can do our distribution here, which would be 5 times x is 5x. 5 times negative 3 would be negative 15. And now we can collect our like terms. We could actually go ahead and add 2 to both sides to put our numbers together. So we'd have y equals 5x minus 13. That now is in the proper form for slope-intercept. Slope-intercept form. And if they ask us to graph it, this would be the easiest way to graph it now. But I hope that you understand that we write equations using point slope, and then we solve that for y to turn it into slope-intercept form. Now, even further than that, the third form of the line is called standard form, and it looks like this: ax plus by equals c. This is a lot of times the way that they present lines to you and say graph this. So let's start back from where we just finished at y equals 5x minus 13. Remember, this was in the slope-intercept form, right? We can manipulate that into standard form just by moving things around. This says that the x's have to come first, and then the y's, and then the plain numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides to move it over. So now we have negative 5x plus y equals negative 13. Now, we do not ever lead with a negative. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this entire equation by negative 1. So negative 1 times negative 5x would be 5x. Keep distributing out the negative 1 equals a positive 13. You have two big rules when it comes to standard form, which this is standard form. The first one is you cannot lead with a negative, which is what we just saw just now. We have to get rid of that. And the second one is you cannot have any fractions in your answer. So if you have any of your numbers or fractions, you'll have to multiply through by the common denominator to get rid of that.